The single biggest lever for your performance on the floor tomorrow has nothing to do with sales training. It's happening tonight while you're asleep, or to be honest, while you're doom scrolling instead. Hello, my name is Frankie, and welcome to Wired to Win, the Auto Dojo Quick Hit series where we go under the hood of the one piece of equipment you use in every deal, every conversation, and every relationship you'll ever have, your brain. The hypothalamus regulates hormones, stress response, sleep, and your actual baseline mood. It's essentially your body's thermostat, constantly adjusting internal systems to keep you steady and level. When it detects a threat, whether it's physical or psychological, it triggers the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, or the HPA axis, a hormonal trifecta that dumps cortisol and adrenaline into your system for that fight or flight response if needed. In small doses, this is actually a good thing. A healthy stress response keeps you alert and ready to rock and roll. But when that stress response is too frequent or constant, the data is pretty sobering. One study of business executives found that over 90% showed signs of chronic stress with elevated resting cortisol linked to more mistakes and slower reaction time on cognitive tasks. On a broader scale, 79% of employees in the UK report moderate to high stress. 63% show signs of burnout, and stress-related lost productivity costs over $300 billion a year in the United States alone. That's not a some people problem. That's a large majority of us here. For anyone in sales or service, this cuts both ways. A dealership floor or service drive is a naturally high stimulation environment with walk-ins, phone-ups, recalls, or expensive repairs, managing heat, pressure from your manager, month-end numbers. And an overactive hypothalamic stress response degrades the exact skills you need the most: clear thinking, patience, and the ability to read the room. And customers bring their own hypothalamic stress response in with them too. Someone who's had a brutal week, a sleepless night, is experiencing family drama or a stretch of financial stress, they're not arriving in a neutral state, which is worth remembering before you take a short answer or a sharp tone personally. That short fuse is very often the hypothalamus talking, not the actual person. In life in general, the hypothalamus is behind why bad sleep can totally kill your mood and judgment the next day. Sleep regulation runs straight through it, and it's why chronic low-grade stress at home quietly erodes performance at work and vice versa. They're not separate systems, they run through the same thermostat. A sales or service consultant stressed about something at home isn't walking into the store with a clean slate. Their hypothalamus carried that mental and emotional load in with them, whether they meant to bring it or not. The practical application here is one of the most evidence-backed in all of neuroscience, and also one of the most ignored. Sleep, movement, and mental and physical recovery aren't non-essential self-care bonuses. They're direct inputs into hypothalamic regulation, which in turn directly affects your PFC, your amygdala reactivity, and your decision-making the next day. Organizations that treat rest and exercise as a performance strategy instead of a personal indulgence are, whether they realize it or not, managing their people's hypothalamic function. And with the previous data stating 63% of employees showing signs of burnout, it's clear that most organizations aren't managing it well. None of this means eliminating stress entirely, though. A totally flat hypothalamic response isn't the goal, and honestly, you wouldn't want that anyway. A healthy stress response is what gets you out the door in the morning or able to initiate a hard conversation in the first place. The goal is a hypothalamus that spikes when it needs to and actually comes back down afterwards, instead of one stuck in a chronic low-grade on state of stress that never resets. So go do it now. On the floor or in the drive, protect one real break today. Even if it's only 10 minutes, instead of running the whole shift on an empty mental and emotional tank. At home, plan and protect your sleep tonight and treat it like it's a business commitment, because neurologically, it is one. Why is this important? Well, because a stressed, sleep-deprived hypothalamus quietly wrecks your patience, your read of the room, and your judgment before you've even said a single word to a customer. And it's doing the exact same thing to your patients at home. You can't out-hustle a body stuck in chronic stress, no matter how strong your coffee or energy drink is. So go take action, keep the customer first, and go dominate your floor and your life. To have these quick hits delivered to your email and text, scan the QR code you see here to subscribe, or go to autodojotraining.com, and I look forward to serving you in the Auto Dojo soon.